Hi guys, just here to do a quick video of my latest junk journal. So this one again is an altered 6x6 mini album. It's pretty chunky, as you can see. On the front cover it's just held by two large book rings here, and then it's just got this little bit of lace trim with this diamante kind of embellishment, which I've just kind of attached one of those brooch pins on the back and obviously pinned it on there. And then the front and back covers are actually chipboard covers, and then they've been heavily kind of decorated with various layers of lace and fabric. So the back has got this lace trim, it's got kind of old doilies, and then it's got, and then here it's just got this, I can't think what you'd call this, kind of upholstery kind of trim, like that. And this album I'm going to call Angels and Cherubs, because the theme of it is angels and cherubs, using lots of kind of old book images from, I think it was kind of a photo album that I managed to get from a charity shop. So have used lots of the images from the book. So here on the back is this cute little image of these couple of cherubs or angels, you know, there. So back to the front cover. So the book is held shut with this ribbon. So it just obviously unties and can be removed completely. And then it's got, obviously, as I said, layers of lace and then various little embellishments. All of this lace and fabric trims were all gifted to me from my very nice friend at work. Her mother, I think I've said before, is having a huge clear out. So she keeps coming in with these carrier bags of fabric, which I'm obviously feeling kind of like a lottery winner. It's kind of like a scales though, as kind of her mother's house is emptying, my house is filling up, kind of like the scales are kind of tipping the opposite direction, but all gratefully received. So, and lots of it is vintage, you know, proper vintage kind of lace and trims. So then we've got an image from the book of a little cherub, and I've just glossy accented the cherub itself, and I've obviously layered it up with some vintage sheet music, and then some scrapbook paper, more of the sheet music, and a little bow there. So inside the album, on the first page, obviously this is the back of the chipboard cover. It's got some scrapbook paper which has been coffee stained, and then I've decoupaged a napkin of this beautiful girl, and then I've used one of the frames from the kind of album book that I've just cut out, and obviously kind of sanded the edges a bit and distressed it and stuck that over there. And I've used that obviously as a pocket here for a little tag. That just goes in like that. Whoops. Unfortunately, my family are being really noisy today. I can hear my daughter in the background with her recorder. Obviously some fabric trim and some lace. Loads of lace and fabric in this book. So on this page, we've got some fabric ruffle down the side. And then we've got another one of those images from the book, and that's just acting as a little pocket here for a little envelope, which I made myself. And then it's got just a printable inside of a little postcard image, all again coffee dyed, and that just tucks in there. Then there's coffee dyed postcard stamp, and then behind that are a couple of printables of tickets. And then it's got a die cut of this little kind of frame thing, and then a chipboard tile of a little kind of cherub there. And that's all held together with a little bulb pin and just tucks in there behind the postcard. Then on the next page here, we've got a fabric pocket which has been stitched to the page. Lots of these pages have been stitched around to give them kind of double thickness, where I've kind of heavily embellished the pages. Wanted them to be a bit more rigid than just single page thickness. So I've stitched them on the sewing machine. So this has got some stitched fabric on there, and then it's got some lace trim. It's got some of this pearly kind of trim, and then I've got some of this organza kind of fabric that I've made a kind of bow across the centre. and then a chipboard kind of embellishment from an image from the book, which I've just glossy accented. And then here, stamped image, a couple of printables there, and then one of those vintage sewing patterns that I've made, just this little booklet. This was using an idea from Angie Bunner from one of her little albums. That just tucks in. Then the next page here, this one is a single sheet, it's not doubled up or anything. It's just got some lace trim and some kind of tassel embroidery, upholsterer's trim down there. A couple of stamped images, and it's just been coffee stained. On the next page, there's some lace trim kind of forming a pocket. There's an altered paperclip there with some lace trim just on the paperclip. And so in the lace pocket here, there's just a printable image that's been coffee stained. That just tucks in like that. There's another one of those little cherub images from the book. Some stamped decorative corners, that just tucks in. And then there's a little tag that I've made just on some coffee stained cardstock. And then a part of the book that I've coffee stained, made a little pocket. So there is another teeny weeny tag with a little flower and a button like that. I'm hoping that the lighting's okay here. It's a bit of a dark day today, so I'm kind of stood in a different area to where I've been doing my videos lately. So I hope it's all coming out okay. And then on this page again, this is a single thickness page, lots of space for journaling. I tried not to embellish every single page so much, so there was lots of room for journaling. So this has just been coffee stained, and then it's got some lace and some of the upholstery fabric trim. Then on the next page, it's just got a bit of lace ruffled up down the side. It's got that little stamp that I love using, and other than that it's plain. Then on here, again, it's just a single sheet, left it quite plain for lots of journaling, and it's just got this lovely lace fabric, which I haven't kind of attached all the way down. Normally I kind of like to have them really flat so they don't move, but actually some people I think quite like their fabric kind of flapping, so I left this one just attached on this edge, and then the fabric is kind of open. And then I've just stamped here that little Voltaire quote, love as a canvas furnished by nature and embroidered by the imagination. Then on the back of that page, I've just done some decoupage napkin of these two beautiful girls, and just put a bit of lace, but I've left the rest of the page pretty plain for journaling. And then on this page, I've just got a fold out little booklet, which is just from cardstock, and it's got some vintage sheet music. It's got one of those frames that I love using, and it's just got some lace trim stitched down on the sewing machine. And then it's got a lovely bow there, and some of this vintage lace at the bottom with some ribbon threading through it. And then that also acts as a little pocket. So outside of the pocket, there's a little postcard image, some sheet music, a bit of kind of decoration from the book, and then just a printable there that just slots in like that. And then on the back of that page, I've just got another image from the book that I've been using, and then a little flower, embroidered flower. This one's not vintage actually. This was off of an old top of mine that had kind of a collar with lots of flowers and decoration, so that's from there. Then it's got some vintage lace at the bottom, and then it's just got an envelope that I've stitched on the sewing machine out of book pages, decoupaged napkin on there, and then inside the little envelope, if I can ever actually get it out, there is just a little postcard printable. That just goes like that, and then it tucks up there in that tuck spot. Then here I've got just a little pocket here made from some of the card from the book, and then it's got lots of lace and some fabric trim and a little bow, and then it's just got a tag there made from a stamped postcard with a bit of decoupage napkin on there. And on the back it's plain for journaling, a bit more decoupage napkin on the side, and this again has been double stitched so it's double thickness page. Then there's another altered paper clip, slightly different. It's got some doily lace and some other lace trim there on the paper clip, and that's just holding one of those Amity Bloom style floating pockets. So this can obviously be moved around anywhere you want in the book, and it's just literally kind of 2 sheets of paper that have been stitched on the sewing machine, decoupaged a napkin on there and put some lace, and then inside that pocket is a little tiny fold out booklet that's just been coffee stained. It's got a bit of lace that was stitched on the sewing machine, and then over the top of that another little bit of lace trim. That just tucks in there. And then here there's some vintage sheet music, and then there's just a pocket that I've made with some distress inks around the edge, and I've stamped some sheet music on there. It's got a coffee dyed paper flower with some lace trim and a pearl centre, and that's just acting as a pocket here for this die cut little tag. That just goes in there, and then it's got this lovely large bit of lace that's just down there. So I'll just paper clip that back on. And then here on the facing page, this is just left quite plain. It's just got a piece of lace and it's just coffee dyed. And then on the reverse of there, it's just got some little script stamp, and then it's just got this lace trim down the side and a little image from the book, and then just using a printable that I've backed onto cardstock and put some lace as a little tab there. So that just tucks in like that. Excuse my daughter if you can hear her shouting in the background. She's outside of the room with my husband. Here a little kind of booklet, and that's been made with the edges of some of the vintage sheet music booklets that are obviously kind of plain, you know, around the edge of the actual sheet music. So it kind of feels really nice and kind of delicate. And then the front is obviously just scrapbook paper with a little image stuck on there from the book. Some lace trim, and then just a little tag. So you just tuck in there, lots of lace again. Hopefully you can see that. There we go. Then on the next page there's a doily here. It's got a different postcard image there that's been stitched around onto cardstock. It's got some lace stitched on, and then some more of that vintage lace down the side, but I've threaded through some modern day ribbon that's polka dot, but it just matched the page perfectly. And then it's got a little cherub image from the book and a little die cut circle. Then here, just got a little pull out tag here with this kind of calendar, and it's just got some lace on the top, and it's got the word delight on a chipboard that I've made. And then that just tucks in there. Then on this page, left it plain other than just a little embellishment there, fabric. And the same on here, just got some lace trim down the side and a banner. And then this page here, again, left plain for journaling, but it's just got a tag paper clipped on. It's just got some vintage lace down the side. So here again is another piece of lace on an altered paper clip, and then some other lace layered up. And here I've just made a little tag from a printable, and then I've got some Hessian down here that I've painted just in an ivory colour, and then made a little pocket there for a little journaling tag. It's got some lace trim, and the back is just plain for journaling. And then on the other side of that page is another tag. So the paper clip was actually holding on the 2 tags, and this one again, it's a printable, and it's got then layered up some sheet music and another cherub that again I've glossy accented this one, and it's just got some lace trim down the side as a tab, and then just plain on the back for journaling. So I'll leave that like that. Then on this side, again, this is a stitched page. It's got a doily and a little tuck spot, and in there is a little envelope with a little kind of booklet, and that's just all a printable that's been coffee dyed, and I just thought the papers went really nicely with the album, so I've just put that in there. And then I've got from scrapbook paper just coffee stained butterfly that I've then layered up with sheet music like that, some of that tassely trim and some lace. And then on the next page there's doily here and some lace trim, little tuck spot down here with a little fold out booklet, and this one's got a few pages in it, so more room for journaling. And then here just some coffee stained paper, so plain on this side other than a bit of a script stamp. And then on this side I've just put a tiny bit of sheet music and just a couple of little lace corners there, just for detail really. And then this page, again, I've left it quite plain, lots of room for journaling, except for this fabric trim down the side, and then obviously a bulb pin here with a little charm that I've made from the book with glossy accents. Unfortunately, he has kind of cracked here, if you can see that, but I don't think it affects it too much. And then a little kind of flower. Oops. And then on the back of that page, it's just plain, other than a bit of decoupage there from a napkin. And then here is some of the vintage sheet music that I've just cut to size 6x6. Just put some lace trim on the bottom and coffee dyed the paper itself. And then on the back of that, just decoupage some napkin on and put a tiny bit of lace. Then here, just completely plain sheet on this side and a bit of music sheet down there. And then on this page, got this kind of lace ruffle down the bottom and this beautiful diamante kind of embellishment. Not vintage, it was just from some old jewellery of mine. And then I've stitched an envelope here using a printable, which actually I've just realised I've forgotten to put anything in that, so that one's just empty for your own memorabilia. And it's got that lovely image there. And then it's got some lace trim across the top and a bulb pin and a flower and some lace hanging off there. And then on the top, that's like a tuck spot or a pocket, and just a printable that I thought matched quite nicely with the journal itself. And then on the back of that page, this is probably my favourite page in the book. It's just got some of that hessian that again I've painted in this ivory colour, and then it's just got some of that vintage lace. It's got some of that vintage fabric, what do you call these, like embellishment thing. And then it's got some of this fabric ruffle down the side and some of this pearly kind of trim. And then here inside the pocket is a fold out little booklet. So more room for journaling. That just tucks in like that. And then here on this page I've got a belly band with some lace, and the page has been covered with the music sheet, and then it's got these 3 large pearls down the side. And then here I've just got a fold out little booklet, so more space for journaling, and it's just got a little image from the cherub book. That just tucks in. It's got some doily down the bottom, just decoupaged onto the page. So that's that. And then here, finally at the end of the book, there's here a doily, obviously, some lace trim down the side, another one of those butterflies that I've made from just the scrapbook paper that I've coffee dyed and then layered up with sheet music. It's got some pearl trim down the centre, and then tucked into the tuck spot here is a little kind of flip, envelope kind of flip, which I've just kind of put on the shutter bit, an image from the book that I've just die cut and then glossy accented. And then inside there are just a couple of printables there for journaling on. This one here, gorgeous cherubs and angels and things, so thought that just complemented the journal really well. And that was just in my stash, so that was quite lucky really. And then here on the very back page, I've got a policy envelope, which has just got this bind wire, and then I've left that empty. It's quite tight, I have to say, so anything that goes in would have to be quite flat and quite thin, but obviously you could put your own kind of, you know, secret letters or anything like that in there. But it's fully working. It just is quite tight because it's obviously glued to the page. And that's just been layered up with some sheet music and a decoupage napkin and some scrapbook paper. So that's that. And then it's also a little tuck spot where I've just got a printable of this little postcard that I thought matched the album really rather nicely. And again, it's just got a little doily there behind it. Then it's got some lace trim down the edge and just some script stamping and some corners on that page. So that's the whole album, pretty fat and chunky. I haven't actually counted the pages, but I think, well, I don't want to hazard a guess and kind of mislead anyone. So it's got a fair few anyway, and lots of pull-out tags and things, so lots of space for journaling. So I hope you liked it. I'd really love to hear your comments and suggestions or anything. And obviously this will be going up on my Etsy store. So please give it a thumbs up if you liked. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day.